Foreign students in the United States will have to leave the country if their classes are all online next semester. Affected students have been warned they could face deportation if they stay. The rule does not affect students taking lessons in classrooms or those doing a course that's only partially online. China has the most number of international students in the United States, numbering almost 370,000.
Simon Marks
joins us live from Washington, D.C. for more on this. Simon, why is the move happening now?
Well, the Trump administration argues that the move is happening because of America's challenges with COVID-19. This is part and parcel of a series of moves that the government here has put into place to restrict access to U.S. territory for foreign immigrants, whether they are migrant workers coming into the United States. As you know, H-1B visa holders are being told that their applications won't be processed while jobs are preserved for American citizens in America, or in this case, foreign students seeking to take advantage of America's higher education institutions. I mean, the extraordinary aspect to this, Steve, is that the future for in-person in-classroom teaching in the United States is deeply uncertain, and there may be institutions that reopen their doors and say to students in September, OK, come on back for live teaching in classrooms, but then a couple of weeks later have to change their mind on that and move to online only because of a COVID-19 uptick in infections in any particular area, which will leave these international students, 1.1 million of them, high and dry, because at that point they could be told by the Department of Homeland Security, you've got to get out.
Simon, what kind of implications is this move going to have on US-China ties? They're not great at the best of times.
Look, I think, Dawn, it's certainly going to put fresh strains because so many of those students, as you said, come to study in the United States from China. I mean, normally at this time of year, the summer, you can go to any American university campus, and those campuses are offering classes over the summer to international students, the vast majority of whom come from China. International student business in 2018 was worth $45 billion to the United States. So this is absolutely going to put a fresh strain in that relationship between Washington, D.C. and Beijing, but it's also being used as a tool by the Trump administration to try and force America's educational institutions to reopen with live in-person classroom teaching. President Trump is absolutely insistent that schools and universities later this year must reopen and reopen fully. He, of course, doesn't have the power to order that, but he certainly has the power of the purse at his disposal, and through this measure, he's exercising it.
Yeah, if we just stay with that a bit more, Simon, and tell us about the effects that this will have on the US educational institutions, because it puts them in a difficult spot.
An incredibly difficult spot. I mean, just look at Washington, D.C. We've got a large number of universities here. American University, George Washington University, Georgetown, Howard University, a whole array of top-rate educational institutions in this city alone that rely in large measure on the business that comes to them from international students. And not just universities, by the way. There are high schools here that specifically cater to the children of children from China who are sent here to enjoy an American high school education. All of that suddenly is threatened by this move, which absolutely can lead to student visa applications being rejected if universities and schools are saying, no, we're going to have to engage in distance learning, or in some cases, people being told to leave the country. The implications of that not just for the students, but for the universities and educational institutions that rely on that revenue to help maintain their business models on an annual basis, is enormous, and so is the impact on America's global reputation. There's a reason people want their kids to come here to study, and America now appears to be saying to international students, for the moment, we're not all that sure we want you here.
All right, Simon, thank you very much for that. Simon Marks there.